This video is sponsored by BetterHelp. Today I'm testing this Lego train and the patience of my new kitten Frankie because I'm building the first ever Lego cat train to go on this huge Lego track. So let's introduce our passenger. This is Frankie, and she looks like a smaller version of the Lego tuxedo cat. But don't be fooled, she's getting really big really fast, which means I don't have a lot of time to build her a cat carriage before she's as big as her adult siblings. These are my other 3 adult baby cats. This chunky boy is Benny. He's kind of like Frankie's sparring partner. This is Princess June, Boop, who wants absolutely nothing to do with Frankie or any of the other cats for that matter. Hint hint, she's super spoiled. But she's just a baby. And this is my rescue cat, Blackie. He's very helpful around the house, and Frankie just loves him to pieces. Okay, Frankie, I think that's a little too much love. Give him some space, you little munchkin. I think Frankie's learning a lot from her new siblings, and she's constantly playing, like all the time, which is gonna make confining her to a small Lego train car extremely difficult. So let's take a look at our train situation. Lego trains are super cool, and this is the Lego City Express passenger train. It includes a train car motor with train wheels, a battery to power the motor, and this remote that will turn the battery on and off and change the speed of the train. The train car elements are really detailed, and you hide the battery away inside the engine train. The train cars just use train wheels and include some really fun details like these big doors, the speed of the train, seats, foods, and beverages. But we're gonna need a lot larger train car to fit Frankie's fat booty in. And we're gonna need a lot more track so she doesn't get dizzy going in circles. So while we wait for all the additional track pieces to arrive, let's start designing the cat carriage. Stepping away from the instructions is fun, but also a big challenge, because following Lego instructions is just so calming, even therapeutic. But sometimes you need to actually talk things out rather than escape all of your problems with cats and Lego.
Is that what I'm doing? And that's why there's BetterHelp, the sponsor of today's video, that wants you to know how easy it is to get matched with a therapist that fits your specific needs and situation. I mean, I can tell my cats my problems all day long, and then user 365 said that my video looked like a preschooler made it. But they're not the best listeners. Whereas the therapists on BetterHelp will make time for you to message them and to call and video chat through sessions to start working on the things that are holding you back from being your best self. Maybe you feel anxious or overwhelmed or are struggling with relationships. BetterHelp makes it easy to get the therapy you need, when you need it, and how you feel the most comfortable. BetterHelp has connected over 4 million individuals to therapists that meet specific criteria, like having a master's degree, 1,000 hours of experience, and at least 3 years in the field. And the therapist that you're matched with will have tons of experience with people just like you. They make it super easy and convenient to not only get a listening ear, but a specialized professional that can give you the guidance and tools you need to create a happier and healthier life. Just visit betterhelp.com/DaniBob or use danibobstudios on sign up to get a discount on your first month. Mental health is no joke, and as much as we like to say that Lego is our therapy, it only goes so far. And also just think about how much happier you'd be if you got a cat.
Now let's get this cat carriage built. I started out by removing all the excess elements from one of the passenger cars and then grabbed some 8x16 plates that would act as the floor. I built up this structure because I needed to see if it would be large enough to fit Frankie inside of. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. And even worse, it was hideous.
I'm ugly and I'm proud!
But instead of throwing a fit and quitting Lego forever, I redesigned it with the same color scheme as the express train cars and put the windows in the right spot to make it look a lot cuter. Then I built this roof section and added my favorite part, the bubble. Now it's like one of those cat backpacks, but in Lego. I also left this front part open and added a tray for the cat treats. But you'll see how that worked out later. To finish this off, I added some training wheels along the sides to ensure it doesn't fall over because that would just be a disaster with our precious cargo. And now that the rail car portion is reinforced, I pressed it all together and successfully created a Lego cat carriage. Man, this thing looks like an RV. Now to decorate. I grabbed some dots pieces from my extra parts bin and spelled out Frankie on the side, and then I made this fun pattern on the other side and a little I heart paw print. Now to see how much it weighs. Holy moly, that is heavy. Adding Frankie's weight in there is going to be a serious load. So I went to go test this out, but then I realized my controller was upside down. Also, this load would be way too heavy and the wheels were just gonna spin out.
Wheels are spinning out.
So I picked up another train motor from Amazon and thought for sure I would be able to design another train car and power it up. But only after I built it did I realize that this knockoff motor was just not gonna cut it, which was a major problem because I was running out of time, Frankie was getting fatter by the day, and no one around me was selling a Lego train. I tried troubleshooting, and big shout out to Bevan's Bricks because he helped me to diagnose that there was a bad power supply and this was just a weak sauce train motor. Yeah, I think I'll just be sticking to Lego motors from now on. Anyway, while I figure out a solution to this crisis, let's assemble the track. Now, I want this to go all the way around the apartment, so hopefully I have enough track here, but let's find out. I started out by building this straight shot where the train station will go, and then into the living room and into the bedroom. Lastly, the bathroom and back to the straightaway as if it were planned. That actually worked out so well. Just then, I got a brilliant idea. I have nieces and nephews, so I called them up, and sure enough, one of them had a train engine. So I picked it up and turned that train engine into a powered up train car / caboose. By using the second train car pieces and filling in the gaps, I now have a color-coordinated cat train. Thanks to the powered-up caboose, it pushes and pulls simultaneously, giving it pretty equal weight distribution. And now it's time to make the train map, starting with the station. This is the station that's included with the LEGO City train, but I also have a platform 9 3/4. So why don't we go ahead and change that to station 9 3/4 lives, because supposedly cats have 9 lives. Then I'll put up some blocks here to make a really cool passageway for the train to go through, and to guard it, I've got just the cats. This is the Lion King. Rawr. It uses sausage elements for the eyebrows and these analog sticks for the whiskers. And don't forget about Simba the lion cub. And just past that, we have some coffee tables that look like mountains. So I placed the castles there for Castle Corner. And for this table, let's make it nice and dark. Inside this room, I want it to look like a Christmas town, so I placed a bunch of snowy buildings, Elsa's ice castle, snow, and lights to make this polar place. And finally, for the bathroom, I'm putting poo on the toilet and a bunch of fake plants in here to make it look nicer. And now we have a complete route and a complete train map. So let's bring in the passenger. The next day, I picked up Frankie, who I've started calling Cranky because she isn't getting enough sleep due to the constant distractions of her siblings purely existing. And this is her first time away from home, so I brought treats. I had to get her warmed up to the idea of the train, and she really enjoyed chasing it around like the curious kitten she is. But then, before I could put her inside, she fell asleep. So while she was asleep, I decided to build other Lego cat toys that had motion to see if she would enjoy those as much as the train. This is her favorite mouse toy, and this is a Lego hamster, and it can go on this Lego hamster wheel that actually spins. And to make it spin even faster on its own, I attached a Lego motor. And when Frankie finally woke up, she was not in the least bit impressed. She definitely liked eating the Lego pieces though, and don't worry, she didn't swallow any. But I think the sound of the motor might have been a bit much for her, so I looked for other Lego pieces that had motion. And that's when I found the spring-loaded missile. I stacked a bunch of these up and then fired them one after another, and she really enjoyed this. After all, she is a very playful kitten, just with certain things and not others. But I think she was just still so tired because I found her sleeping on the job again. So I waited a bit longer until she was finally ready to board the train. And after some tasty salmon puree, she settled in and started her journey, which was promptly ended when she hopped right out the back. Yeah, gonna need to put a lid on that. This time she made it through Pride Block, but then realized she could squeeze her way through the little head hole and escaped. Try again. This time she made it all the way around Castle Corner and then popped her head out before going into the Black Cat Tunnel. She made it through Polar Place, but before we could get to Litterbox Land, we ran into an issue. She wiggled too much. And for our last try, I knew that she'd absolutely had enough because she punted the engine car over and walked away with sass. So as to not stress her out anymore, I decided it was time to move on to our other passengers. That's right, we have more kittens. These are Frankie's cousins, and they're just starting to walk. They're so tiny, but they're only less than 2 months younger than Frankie, and both kittens can even fit into Frankie's train car. They made it around the track with ease and seemed to actually enjoy themselves, partially because they probably had no idea what was going on. But now that we've gotten a little more use out of this cat car, I'm satisfied. But where's Frankie? Ah, asleep again. This little girl is finally getting some rest away from all of her siblings. And now I can finally get some rest because this video was exhausting. So make sure to hit the like button and I'll see you in the next one.